Hey everybody, Dr. Leigh Miller here, your TMJ physical therapy specialist. Today, we're going to talk about, releasing your lateral pterygoid. I'm super excited about this because your lateral pterygoid is such a troublemaker. But we need to talk about what the lateral pterygoid is and what it does before you can figure out and decide, do I need to release mine or not? Number one, if you've got jaw pain, you likely have lateral pterygoid discomfort. That's just going to be a general statement. But taking that aside, let's talk about what it is. So the lateral pterygoid is a fan-shaped muscle. It has two parts. It has a superficial or a top portion, and it has an inferior or a bottom portion. The superficial portion is going to go from your sphenoid bone all the way over to your TMJ capsule. So think a capsule that's wrapped around that TMJ temporomandibular joint. There's a capsule. It also, that superficial portion, also attaches to the anterior or the front portion of your intra-articular disc. We have a disc that is in between our TMJ. It helps with movement, it helps with lubrication, it's very important. It can also be very pesky. So when it gets displaced, that's when we're talking about maybe some popping, some clicking, some lockjaw. Another conversation for another time. But just food for thought for the back of the brain. So now let's go to that inferior portion of this lateral pterygoid. So that's going to actually be attached to your pterygoid plate, and then it comes and attaches onto that condyle of the mandible. Okay, so think fan-shaped. Condyle of the mandible is just sort of like that ball portion within the fossa itself. So the upper portion right here of that mandible is called a condyle. It's got like a ball-shaped head. Yeah, that's where that muscle is going to attach to. So he's so cool. This lateral pterygoid is so very cool because it's involved in not only opening, but also closing. That superior portion is going to be involved in balancing forces when you close your mouth. That inferior portion is going to be more involved in opening up, right, or mandibular depression. So the lateral pterygoid depresses, opens the mouth, depresses that mandible. It's also involved in mandibular protrusion. I'm talking about your mandible, right? That lower jaw. So you have your maxilla, and then you have your mandible. So protrusion and depression. Your lateral pterygoid is also involved in left and right motions. We call those contralateral motions. So your right lateral pterygoid is involved in left jaw movement. Pretty cool, kind of complicated, pretty cool, right? So this muscle to me, yes, it is fan-shaped. This muscle to me is kind of shaped like a wishbone. And so I like to say you're going to wish that this muscle is not irritated or ticked off, because if he or she is, you're going to put a pronoun to your lateral pterygoid. If it is ticked off in any shape or form, you're going to feel it. That lateral pterygoid can refer pain to your ear. It can refer pain to your eye. It can refer pain deep into the jaw. It can refer pain to your head and you get headaches. It can even refer pain to your teeth. So let's say you've got some ear pain or some ear fullness or some clicking, and you think, oh, I need to go to the ENT. Something is not right. Okay, you go to the ENT. The ENT says, nothing's wrong. I've checked out. There's really nothing wrong with the ear. There's no infection. We're going to send you back to your dentist. So you go to your dentist, and the dentist says, well, let's fix your bite. Let's adjust your night splint, or let's get you on a night splint. You know, maybe it's because of clenching or bruxing. And that may help, absolutely. But my question is, has anyone looked at the lateral pterygoid to release it? Before you get on medication, may it be a pain medication or a muscle relaxant, or heaven forbid, you know, a deeper conversation about something that should or shouldn't be done, you know, imaging, things of that nature. let's still stick to the conservative side. And let's say, okay, we need to release this lateral pterygoid. How do you do it? Intraoral. So this muscle's kind of tough to get to, right? So before we continue, either grab yourself a glove or wash your hands, right? Sing that birthday song twice, get a nice soapy lather. We are still technically in COVID, and we don't want to share germs with ourselves from others. So once you come on back, what I want you to do, there's two ways that you can do this. You can either use your pinky or you can use your pointer finger. I think that I have a little bit more control with my pointer finger, although some people do use their pinky because it is such a small space up there. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're going to put your nail portion towards your teeth, right? And you're gonna go all the way back past your molars, and you're gonna go up high, right? As high as you can get it. It's gonna get tender up there. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very uncomfortable. That, once you're uncomfortable and once it's pretty tender, light bulb, you know you're in the right spot, because this muscle is likely irritated. Again, it is not a muscle it is a muscle that is very involved in opening and closing. So either way you look at it, we move our jaw over 3,000 times a day. Your pterygoid needs a little love. So I'm going to demonstrate. What you're going to do is you're going to stick your finger up. You're going to find that tender spot. Okay? And you're going to apply a medium to firm pressure. Do not bruise yourself. Do not bring tears to your eyes. You want to just create a hurt so good sensation. You're going to hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. All right? And then we will reposition to go to another angle of that lateral pterygoid. So, I'm up, I'm back, and I'm applying pressure through the pads of my fingers, okay? Once you're done with your 10 to 15 seconds, you can move your finger upward along your maxilla, right? Along that gum line, okay? It's still going to feel tender. All of that area up in here is going to be that lateral pterygoid area. You want to do this 1 to 2 times a day, 10 to 15 seconds, and you can do it in 3 or 4 different angles, right? So if you were to take your pinky, I'll demonstrate. If you're gonna do your left side, I use my right pinky. And again, I use my right finger, pointer finger, if I'm going to do my left side. I'll do it with my pinky. Nail towards me, right? Press and hold. You do not want your teeth to touch, and you want to close slightly as you're applying pressure. You may angle it a little differently along this area here. You will feel that tenderness, okay? You should feel relief pretty quickly. But again, depending on the intensity of how tight this muscle is and how irritated this muscle is, you may want to go talk to a specialist about getting it released. It may need some intramuscular dry needling. However, you want to only get that done through a dry needling certified specialist. Until next time, everybody, happy releasing of the lateral pterygoid.